Joe, it is your last full day down here in Peoria, down here in Arizona. You are missing some hair.
Yep.
It's your last day down here at the Backfields. Just give everyone a little bit of your experience this time around.
Really good. It's interesting being, the last time I was here, I've said it a bunch of times, 2020. Now, obviously after having started the channel and everything, people know who I am sometimes, and that's really cool. That's something that I don't think I'll ever get used to, but I'll also never take it for granted because it's a very, very cool experience. Yeah, backfields are great. There's a lot of good action that we saw. Hopefully we made, bless you, hopefully we made some good content throughout it all. Dylan Moore's currently taking an at-bat right now.
What?
Ball.
Whatever.
Yeah, no, it's been really great. We just saw some live ABs. Polanco hit a tank off of Blas Castano, which was awesome. Got to see some more BP. I think Michael Arroyo was in a really interesting group with Julio, Cal, and Randy coming over. Obviously he's been playing in the WBC for Colombia, like the qualifiers. So seeing him back there was really cool. A little bit shorter of a day for the backfield for us because we didn't know that they had opened at 2. We got here at 3. Neither here nor there, but no, I've had an amazing time, and I'm definitely looking forward to coming back next year.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing, because obviously, like you said, you haven't been down here since 2020. I've been down here every year since 2020. And yeah, I mean, a lot's changed the backfields, but it's still the same place as it's always been for the most part.
Yeah.
It's definitely run a little bit differently this year under Dan Wilson, which we've talked about a bunch. But I think some of the biggest changes from when you were here last year is just how structured it feels. Or last time, it feels a lot more structured this year than it has in years past. And I think that's a big part of it. But overall, I mean, spring training is pretty consistent, and if we really wanted to go out there and get some autographs, we could have, but we didn't. But yeah, that's just kind of where my head's at with it.
I will say I'm very thankful that we're Mariners fans. We went to the Padres backfields, and I don't know if it was just a bad day for it or what was going on, but it was very subpar, very lackluster compared to my experience out at the Mariners backfields. And maybe it's just because I don't recognize those guys, but still, it just felt like there was nothing going on, and they had the same amount of field, looked like the same amount of players participating, but nothing really. And it just was so far away. Like you couldn't get as close as you could with the Mariners backfield. So I'm very, very thankful that the structure of it, even though it's different a little bit, it's largely the same as the past 3 times that I've been here.
Give me your 3 takeaways from this time around at spring training. What are the 3 things that you're going home with saying, yeah, that's something that I wasn't expecting?
Dan Wilson and the coaching staff, I think, will make a difference more than I would have anticipated. We've talked about it a lot when Service was still the coach. The coaches don't make that large of a difference. I'm ready to eat my words. I want there to be a tangible difference, and I feel like we've kind of laid witness to it. Excuse you. Laid witness to that in spring training so far. Second one, even if the players are not like good players, they're not at their best or whatever, in batting practice, they look like gods among men. Mitch Haniger has had the best BP rounds I've ever seen during, maybe not the best ever, but of my time down here, Mitch was the most impressive. Yet we talk about him like he should be kicked off the roster, which is encouraging, but confusing. So that's the second one is, yeah, BP, I don't know what the takeaway is there, but practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Something like that. And the third, a lot of the young guys want it.
Yeah.
They recognize what I think the path is to get to the bigs and to put the work in and stuff like that, and to be a likable player, to be a fan favorite. Laz is the epitome of it all so far. He's living it up. He's having a great time. He brings good energy. He signs. He does all the things, but he also lights it up on the field and in practice. Like the young kids, the core group that the Mariners have, it's a very talented group, but it's a group that wants it too.
All right, rapid fire, Joe. You ready for this?
Yeah.
What player impressed you the most while you were here?
That's Laz Montez.
Will the Seattle Mariners make the playoffs in 2025?
Boring, yes.
You hear that, friends of the pod? What pitcher has impressed you the most? Obviously, there's been a ton of them, but what pitcher has really stood out to you so far this spring?
Oh, man. We didn't really see a lot of bullpens or anything.
True.
And then in the games, it's been all over the place. I really don't know if I can. I don't think I have an answer, truthfully.
Fair. Okay.
I think a pitcher that has disappointed me, the inverse of that, and no discredit to him and the work that he's put in. Logan Evans just hasn't had a good spring.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay. Comeback player of the year. Who's it going to be?
Garver.
Interesting. Okay, and who will be this team's MVP in 2025?
If it's not Julio, the Mariners don't make the playoffs, so it has to be Julio.
You heard it here first, folks. Joe, I'm glad that you enjoyed your week down here. It was fun having someone to do this stuff with instead of doing it by myself. My parents will be here in a couple of days, so I'll be hanging out with them, and then I'll have 10 days just doing spring training alone. So until then, what?
It's been a pleasure. See you around.
All right. He's chasing the birds. You should see how dumb he looks with his hair right now. He's chasing the birds. I got it. Hey, can you run back? This guy's an idiot. This is what I have to deal with. Look at his hair bounce. That has been Peoria Spring Training with Colton and Joe. We'll catch you next time.